I don't have radar against send a pilot boat out.
So we just sit here and stare at one another.
Well, we could talk about boats. Yeah.
Peter, in Outlaw Blues, you're making your singing debut as a country rock singer.
Yeah, as a prison country rock singer.
Was it at all inspired by David Allan Coe?
No, actually, I didn't ask Bill Norton, who wrote the script, what his roots were. I think some of it has to do with David Allan Coe, some to do with Jimmy Cliff. You know, the ideas of being in jail and writing songs is not new. But having a song ripped off while you're in jail is a little bit different, you know, having someone steal one of your songs, and that's where we depart from some of the other more historically accurate outlaw stories.
In the film, do you do all of your own singing?
Oh yeah, all of my own singing and all of my own picking upside down and backwards.
What was it like for you? Because here you are as an actor doing a singing role. And I have to believe that you maybe were a little bit nervous about it.
Oh, I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. I'd wanted to sing all my life. Long before I even thought about being an actor, I knew that being a singer was all right. And now I know how to expose it. As an actor, I need so much permission to make a movie. And the amount of money and the time it takes and all the rest of the talent and the people that you have to get together. But to sing a song, you don't need any permission. You can go right out there and sing it. Ask all those Italians with their brooms in the streets, you know. You just can go singing away. So I thought, well, they have it made. Not only can they sing and have a good time, they get paid for it. So I wanted to be a singer. But I didn't feel that I had the voice. But it sounds like I'm losing whatever I've got now anyway.
No, you sound like the country rock singers do it first thing in the morning. We're filming this in the morning.
Yeah, well, I wanted to sing, and I used to sing for my friends, and I'd sing in the living room, and I got very embarrassed about it one time. My first wife walked through the room and said, "God, you sound awful." And I needed to hear that, like, oh, and then I packed up my axe and went outside, got in the station wagon, cranked up the windows, you know, had a little laughing tobacco and played my heart out. And that's where I played for years. I'd go out in the car, roll up the windows and sing and play. And now I get to do it right out there on the stage and had a good time. I had a great time. I loved it. It was a dream come true. Going into the studio after the film to do the soundtrack stuff, it was like I was suddenly where I had been in the studio with friends, like watching them do their albums and eating my heart out, watching Crosby and Nash singing those harmonies. And I was singing back from there, you know, and Hoyt Axton was producing the album. He was saying, "That was pretty good, we'll do it again." I thought, great, I get to do it again.
In the movie, Steve Fromholtz now is doing a non-singing role.
That's right.
And I wonder, did you all trade out? Did you say, okay, Steve, I'll help you with the acting if you'll help me with the singing and picking?
Absolutely, and Steve came up and sang and picked and worked on the album too. He did a couple of his songs for our album. He's a wonderful fellow.
I don't know him, but I know, very, very popular, especially in Texas.
Well,
What kind of a guy is he really?
Just terrific, and he's a good actor too, son of a gun. Take my job away from me, and I can't take his singing job away from him.
What do you think now? Do you think that this singing thing could take you off in another direction?
I don't know. You know, I'm going to sing continually. I don't know if I'll sing for audiences or sing for myself.
Albums and singles and things. So.
I'm basically a filmmaker. You know, if I have time and I have a song I want to sing, I'll go out and sing it. Most of the time, the songs I want to sing are movies that I want to make. You know, I relate them as the same kind of effort. There's something you want to say. And, you know, Willie has something he wants to say. He gets up and sings it. I have something I want to say. I get up and make a movie about it. Or I go on and talk about it in a show or something. Or I write about it. Or I produce somebody else's movie about it. But that's been my main way of singing my songs. But if I suddenly get flooded with a lot of offers to make records, I'm not going to say no, certainly. I want to know what kind of records and who do I get to play with.
Peter, you know a lot of rock performers because you worked with them at one time in your career. You were a photographer and you went around photographing the rock stars. Do you see any major differences between the hard rock stars and the redneck country singers?
Well, there's differences in lifestyles, but as far as singers and actors and performers and all of it, no, there's no difference. Everybody gets up there and puts everything on the line each time.
How is the lifestyle different then?
Well, some guys drive around in buses, some guys drive around in 6.9 Mercedes, and some guys ride bikes, you know. Some people live in trailers and Holiday Inns and go from gig to gig just trying to get for that break. It's just like we do in theater or movies. And some fellows live up in big mansions. You know, that's what I mean by lifestyles. They're just a different way of living their life.
Do you relate to one group more than the other?
No. No, it's like saying, do you like to direct better than act? No, I like to do whatever it is that I'm doing at that moment. Whatever music I'm listening to is what I'm relating to right then. Whether it's country rock or classical or hard rock or jazz. Whatever it is I'm listening to, I'm there to listen to that and I get off on it. Unless it's really awful, and then I get off the seat and out the door.
Peter, your own lifestyle has changed somewhat in recent years. You're spending a lot of time now in Montana. What are you doing up there?
I'm fighting thistles. I'm out there with...
Welcome to the wonderful world of agriculture.
Really.
So you have a ranch, is that what you have?
Yeah. I have 118 acres and I run 40 head of cattle. There's somebody else's cows, not mine. I don't have to worry about the vet bills. I have 4 horses. Only 2 of them are mine. 2 of them are the local doctor's horses. And I have 8 acres of apples. And I make apple butter and send it down to my father, who loves apple butter, and give the rest to the church and the local charities in town. So I don't try to run the ranch as a business concern. It's strictly there to rest and relax. And instead of resting and relaxing, I'm out there hauling these irrigation pipes and fighting those thistles. And I tell you, I'm going to get those thistles. There's something I can do. What they did something in Vietnam I'm going to have to do to that ranch soon. Defoliate those thistles.
No, you don't want to do that, Peter. You don't want to do that. But this whole thing now, how much time can you spend there with your career as busy as it is?
Oh, I spend probably a month and a half at a shot, then I'm off to work. Like here, I'll be gone just about a month to promote this film. And then I'll be back for about a month to the ranch, then I'll take off. If I'm not working in a film, I'll go sailing, and I'll sail until I do work. I work in the end of September in Morocco in a film called It Rained All Night the Day I Left. It's an old country song.
Who's that with?
That will be with Lou Gossett Jr.
Oh, yeah.
And Maximilian Schell. And Nicholas Gessner is directing it. He just did a film called Little Girl That Lived Down the Lane with Jodie Foster,
yes.
which is really a thrilling little horror film. It's quite a nice little film. But I don't start that for several months. I let that kind of simmer in the back of my head about that character that I'm going to be.
Going off in the sailboat to think about it?
Yeah, I do that too. You know, when I get off the sailboat, there's not that phone ringing with other offers or other ideas, that I can concentrate on what I have to do, what the next song is up that I have to sing. You know, I see my fellow performers get up on the stage and they have taped the guitar, the songs for the session, in case they get carried away. They go, number 6 is that song. They know what it is to go for, right? So it's like that. Which character am I playing today? Oh yeah, I see. It's that one.
You have a sailboat that has to be the living end. What do you call your sailboat?
Well, it's named Tatoosh. It was named Tatoosh before I bought it. It was built in Seattle for the people who own a majority of the stock in Boeing aircraft. So no expenses were spared. In the construction of the boat, it was built in 1961. It's wooden, 81 feet, 67 tons, and it's just a beautiful piece of art. And I sail it around the Pacific and have a ball. And I work very hard to keep it floating. Bill Buckley said, ocean sailing is like taking a cold shower and tearing up $1,000 bills. And I was reading his book, Airborne, which is a fabulous book, and I just said, right. Cut, you know, can you make it a little bit colder? Punish me a little more.
But you're really into it. You can handle the boat, and you.
Oh yeah.
You're
Well, not alone. It's 81 feet.
No,
It's
not
quite a
alone,
big
but-
boat. I usually, on a long distance, I go out with 5 other guys, so that we have 6 to stand watches. 2 men on for 3 hours, and then 6 hours off, and then 3 hours on, and you can have 6 guys rotating that way. And it's such a big boat that you really do need 2 people on that watch, because sometimes you see a big wave coming and a gust of wind. You got to jump for that wheel and hold it, you know, so you don't broach.
Well, Peter, thank you for talking with us today. Happy sailing.
Thank you.
And good luck with Outlaw Blues.
Thank you very much, Bobbie.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, it's a very comfortable place. It makes me feel